Yeah. I'd like to welcome everybody to my podcast show. Yo, I am your gracious host, Jupiter 9. And I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to my show. Welcome, guys. If you haven't did so yet, please hit that subscribe button, guys. Please hit the subscribe button and, join me on this journey on my podcast, guys. You know what I'm saying? But in today's show, guys, I have a good show for you today. We're going to be talking about some news that's going on, you know what I mean? A couple of things, not a lot of things, but two things I wanted to cover in today's show. And I just want to talk about, we living in some different times, you know what I'm saying? We living in different times, the things of the past that, people in high places, entertainers, businessmen, politicians, you know what I'm saying? Things that used to go on and people used to get away with, fraud and taking people's money, all these things that, going against what's right in the world, you know what I'm saying? All these things people used to get away with for years, people like Sean Puffy Combs, you know what I'm saying? All these people are falling, and, we're living in times where, the people who used to get away with all these things, these bad things, the fraud, the sex trafficking and all this stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? They're no longer getting away with these things, No longer are we living in the days to where, people like this used to do these things and nothing would happen to them. You know what I'm saying? And it would frustrate, the average everyday person because it would be like, if I do the slightest little thing, I'm getting a traffic ticket, I'm getting put in jail, you know what I'm saying? And these type of people do all types of corrupt things, and they never seem to go to jail or do any jail time or have to, pay their debt to society for what they've done, you know what I'm saying? So we live in the days and times where these people are falling, man, you know what I'm saying? These people are falling. And I'm going to be talking about the Brooklyn pastor, Mr. Bling Bishop. You know what I'm saying? I want to be talking about him in this episode. It's pretty sad that, you have, and this is not all pastors. This is not all churches. Of course not. You know what I'm saying? You got some good pastors and you got some good churches, but you have a lot of frauds in the church community. A lot of fraud pastors out there. Creflo Dollar, you know what I'm saying? People like that, you know what I mean? A lot of people are frauds, and they're using religion to get a come up, you know what I'm saying? They're using religion, you know what I'm saying? Example, the rapper Mace. I believe he used that as a come up, you know what I'm saying? And that's just my opinion, you know what I mean? But we're going to be talking about the Brooklyn pastor, Bling Bishop, found guilty of spending $90,000 of his parishioners' savings on luxury goods. Now, let's talk about this for a minute before I get into reading the article of what happened. This is terrible. This is terrible. Now, a pastor is supposed to be somebody who you go for guidance, seek answers, you know what I'm saying, to worship in your religion and your religious beliefs, you know what I'm saying? And I'm starting to find out that not all these pastors have your best interests at heart, you know what I'm saying? So, a lot of people use religion as a means to get a financial come up, you know what I'm saying? They use God's name to get a financial come up. And when you do that, what goes around comes around, you know what I'm saying? You cannot use religion to financially make you wealthy. And a lot of pastors do this. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying all. You know what I mean? I'm not saying all do it, but a lot of them do it. You know what I'm saying? And that was one of the reasons why I had stopped going to church for a long time, is because of, the pastors were living better than everybody else in the congregation, and everybody else was struggling. You know what I mean? They weren't using, and I'm not talking about no pastor in particular. It's just what I seen growing up over the years. It just seemed like to me, a lot of pastors will use church funds just for their personal gain. You know what I'm saying? And now don't get me wrong, though. It can go the other way too, to where the congregation can misuse the church in order to get their bills paid and stuff like that. It wouldn't be a situation to where a person would be in a financial crunch and that's the only option. Now, I'm not here to bash churches. I'm not here to bash all pastors. You know what I'm saying? When I was younger, luckily we went to a church that where it was real. Like, you know what I'm saying? The church actually looked out for the people in the congregation. And it was times to where, we didn't have food or nothing like that. So, the church, will give us food, you know what I'm saying? And the little things that we need. And there's been a couple times to where, the pastor and our congregation helped my mother with the light bill and stuff like that. So I'm not saying all churches and pastors are bad, but people like this, I do despise, you know what I'm saying? And this guy, Bling Bishop, he's the same guy who people ran up in this church and tried to rob him. He's wearing hundreds of $1,000s worth of jewelry, and guys ran up in this church and tried to take his life. You know what I'm saying? But I think things like this, acts like this are awful. You know what I'm saying? These are awful. And I want to read a little bit of the article of this guy. Let's see here. Let me get situated here, guys. Okay, so Lamor Whitehead, a Brooklyn preacher who boasted of his I need my glasses. Of his friendship with New York City mayor, was found guilty in a federal court Monday of wire fraud, attempted extortion, and lying to the FBI. A flashy jewelry-wearing Brooklyn pastor was convicted Monday in federal court of using parishioners' retirement savings and trying to extort a businessman while touring. He had connections to the New York City mayor. Lamar, I think that's his name, Lamor Whitehead, nicknamed the Bling Bishop, is a pastor at the Leaders of Tomorrow International Ministries. He was found guilty of 5 counts, including wire fraud, attempted extortion, and making false statements to the FBI. The convictions are from 3 separate schemes. Whitehead, known for his Louis Vuitton suits and extravagant jewelry, also made headlines in 2022 after he said he and his wife were robbed of $1 million worth of jewelry at their church. So this guy is on 3 accounts of separate schemes. You know what I'm saying? It seems like everybody's on the scheming thing. You got the PPP loans. You know what I'm saying? People are starting to get rounded up for the PPP loans. And this is supposed to be a man that's supposed to be a man of God. I don't know what man of God who acts this way, steals from somebody. And again, you got these people like him who are these false prophets who are not out for the people, who are not out for the best interests of the people. He's a false prophet. You know what I'm saying? And these false prophets like this, you know what I'm saying? They're all going to come down. P. Diddy's coming down. It's over for P. Diddy. People like that. It's over for them. You know what I'm saying? These guys have made millions. These guys have, scam their way to the top. P. Diddy is throughout his whole career have, put people in horrible record deals. Also, too, Jimmy Iovine is another one who's rounded up in this sex trafficking stuff. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly. So P. Diddy as well, allegedly, is in the same mix. Also, allegedly, Russell Simmons is another one who's in this sex trafficking thing, and that's why Russell Simmons, got out of the United States, and he's in another country where he can't be expedited. So these guys who have been doing this stuff for years, and drugging women, taking advantage of women, taking advantage of people, period. You know what I'm saying? Puffy took advantage of Biggie when he was alive. Horrible record deal. You know what I'm saying? I believe Biggie signed over all his masters to Puffy. Same thing the Locks were trying to, get back from Puffy. You know what I mean? Which I think they got their masters back from Puffy. But again, you got these false prophets out here, man. You know what I'm saying? You guys, people really have to be very, very careful on who they deal with, who they get their energy to, whether it's a church or a pastor. You know what I'm saying? You got to be very, very meticulous and careful on what type of people you surround yourself with. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want that type of energy around you. You know what I mean? And the energy on the planet, it has shifted. If you don't know now, you know. You know what I'm saying? That the energy on the planet has shifted, and we're moving into a whole new space. As far as like society is going into, you know what I'm saying? All these people who are scheming people, frauding people, you know what I mean? Bad contracts, you know what I'm saying? They're going down. And these people have been doing this for years. You know what I'm saying? While everybody else struggled, these people have been living the good life, you know what I mean? Popping bottles, just doing whatever it takes to get on top. Whether it don't matter if it's, stepping on people, I know a lot of times that's how business is. You got to step on the little person, but all these people are coming down, man. There's a lot of things going on in politics too as well. People don't know, you don't hear this on the news, but a lot of politicians are being rounded up too as well. You know what I'm saying? A lot of politicians tried to get out of here on a boat, and the Coast Guards, caught them and brought them back. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that people don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? But let me get to you on with this article. As a unanimous jury found, Lamor Whitehead abused the trust placed in him by a parishioner, tried to obtain a fraudulent loan using fake bank records, bullied a businessman for $5,000, tried to defraud him out of far more than that, and lied to federal agents. U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, Damian Williams, said in a news release. What else? Whitehead's reprehensible lies and criminal conduct have caught up with him. As he now stands convicted of 5 federal crimes and faces time in prison, Williams said. Prosecutors said that Whitehead defrauded one of his parishioners by convincing her to invest $90,000 of her retirement savings with him, according to the indictment. The document said Whitehead would help her buy a home and invest the money, but he used it on luxury goods and personal expenses instead. You know what I'm saying? Guys, melanated people, man, we got to stop putting our trust in people so freely when it comes to our finances. And you see this over and over again, how we put so much trust into people. You see it with athletes, you know what I'm saying? They lose millions because they just let other people handle their financial affairs rather than taking the time to assess what's going on and then learning how to financially handle your affairs for yourself. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's laziness to me, man. Melanated people are so lazy when it comes to financial education. And I don't mean like going to college and getting a financial education. I mean like educating yourself. If you have a certain amount of money, you have retirement money saved up, educating yourself on how to handle your own money. Why do you need to go to a pastor to invest money for yourself? You know what I'm saying? And to buy a home for yourself. Like, why do you need that? When you could have just took the time out to get the books and hell, you don't even need the books. You can just go on YouTube, TikTok, you know what I'm saying? And just learn these things on your own. I teach myself everything I know when it comes to affiliate marketing or how to market online, or, you know what I'm saying? I have taught myself how to, promote on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to learn these other little platforms as we speak. But the name of the game is to teach yourself, man. Melanated people, do not put so much trust in other people to do right by you when it comes to money. You know what I'm saying? Because money, when it comes to money, people don't know how to do right by people when it comes to money. I was just, check this out. I was just watching a movie on George Foreman last night with my wife, and watching a movie, and this is going to tie into the particular part of the movie where this is what I'm talking about, right? So George Foreman, he became the heavyweight champion of the world. Now he's making millions. You know what I'm saying? Now he's making millions. But instead of George Foreman taking the time out to learn how to operate his own finances, you know what I'm saying, he takes the easy route and he hires somebody that he went to school with. You know what I'm saying? And now this guy that he hired to handle his finances, he was an alcoholic. And George Foreman knew this, but still kept him on as his financial advisor. You know what I'm saying? And what happened was, instead of George Foreman taking control of his own finances, you know what I'm saying? What happened was, after he lost the fight with Muhammad Ali, George Foreman should have been set for life at that point. You know what I'm saying? He had made millions. You know what I mean? He had a couple more big fights after that. So those fights were in the millions. $5 million for one fight. I think it was another $5 or $6 million for another fight. So, he should have been set for life at that point. Now, $5 million back then, back in what was that? In the 70s or 60s when he fought. Maybe it was the 70s when he fought Muhammad Ali the first time. Well, the only time. That was a lot of money back then. You know what I mean? It's still a lot of money now, but back then it was worth way more than what it is today. You know what I'm saying? So, to make a long story short, the guy who he had as a financial advisor, he didn't even go to school for it. You know what I'm saying? It was just somebody that he knew, went to school with, and he felt comfortable with. And that too, we got to stop doing this thing where, we just because we know somebody and we're comfortable with somebody doesn't mean that they can handle our finances. You know what I'm saying? Nobody can handle your finances better than you can. You know what I'm saying? If you take out the time and stay on top of your own finances. You know what I mean? Like, a perfect example is 50 Cent. He handles all of his financial affairs. He knows what money going in, what money's coming out. You know what I'm saying? He handles all this. Now, I'm not saying 50 never had any financial issues during his career, which he did, but he handles, if anything were to happen to his finances, the blame would be on him. And I'd rather the blame be on me financially than to have somebody who I hired that had no business handling my financial affairs, that had no experience in it as well. So, people think that, just because a person, you're cool with them, that they can handle millions of dollars, and a lot of people can't. They don't know what to do with millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a 9-to-5 job where you're getting a few $100s a week or maybe $1,000 a week. We're talking millions. You know what I'm saying? Every move counts when you have millions. So back to what I was saying about George Foreman and him hiring this guy that he went to school with. You know what I'm saying? The guy was an alcoholic. So George Foreman ended up losing all his wealth. This guy put his, you know what I'm saying, invested his money in high risk stocks. He was blowing some of his money, you know what I mean? So he ended up losing everything, you know what I'm saying? And he had to start over pretty much. And this is the reason why George Foreman went back to boxing so late in his career. Now, he was away from boxing. Once he lost the fight to Foreman, you know what I'm saying? And he lost a couple more fights after, not Foreman, but Ali. He lost a couple more fights after Ali. He found his love for Jesus Christ, and he gave his life to God. And he told himself, you know what I'm saying, he thinking he's good financially. He's thinking he's still got millions from fights, you know what I'm saying? But not knowing this guy had wasted his whole fortune, man. And you do not, and this goes for athletes, this goes for entertainers. Do not put your faith in somebody else to grow your empire or your wealth. Put it up, leave it up to you, because if you fail, it's because of you, not because of somebody else. I would rather I fail than to have somebody have my fortune and wealth in their hands and they don't have a clue. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying, melanated people. Stop putting your faith into people just because you're friends or whatnot. When it comes to your money, you know what I'm saying? That's the most, not the most important thing, but that should be something you should be protecting. Just don't give your money away, like, you know what I mean, just to anybody to handle. You know what I'm saying? That goes for anybody who comes into your life. If you got an X amount of dollars and they want to, let's do this, let's do that, without no research, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's how a lot of people lose millions. But let's get back to this Whitehead story. So prosecutors said that Whitehead defrauded one of his parishioners by convincing her to invest $90,000 of her retirement savings with him, according to the indictment. The document said Whitehead would help her buy a home and invest the money, but he used it on luxury goods and personal expenses instead. And not only did he take the money from her, but he blew it on nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just taking the money and helping it grow, helping her money grow. Like, it's just ridiculous, man. I hope he gets life. But Whitehead also extorted a businessman for $5,000 and then attempted to convince the man to loan him $500,000 and grant him a stake in real estate transactions in exchange for obtaining favorable connections by the New York City government that he knew he could not provide, according to the indictment. This guy is a piece of work. Whitehead used his ties to the New York City Mayor Eric Adams to try to make the deal. The District Attorney Office said in news release. As the U.S. Attorney Office said when they brought this case, the defendant knew he could not obtain favors from city government. With this ruling that was proven right, Charles Ketchum, I can't say this name, Kerechmer Lutevok, a spokesperson for the mayor's office, told CNN Tuesday. Whitehead also made false statements by telling FBI agents he only had one phone when he actually had two, according to the indictment. Each count carries a maximum sentence of 20 years, except for the false statements count, which is a maximum sentence of 5 years, according to the district attorney's office. Don Florell, one of Whitehead's attorneys, said they plan to appeal the verdict. His sentencing is scheduled for July 1st, she added. And I think that's it on that. So that is it on that, man. Like I said, I hope he gets life, man. If you taking somebody's life savings, $90,000, she probably worked all her life to build that up, and then you turn around. Not only do you take it from her, but you turn around and blow it on nonsense. You know what I'm saying? It's just awful. I don't like things like this, man. But moving on to some more news, man. One of my favorite players, man, from the Mets. You know, I'm a Mets fan. I've been a Mets fan for a long time. You know what I'm saying? I was a Mets fan around the time they won the World Series back in, what was it, 1985? I think it was. They won that. They won 2 World Series in 1985. I can't remember, but one of my favorite Mets players, man, Darryl Strawberry, and he just recently did an interview with Vlad TV. Darryl Strawberry. He had a heart attack, guys. He had a heart attack, and he is resting comfortably after a heart attack, according to New York Mets. So Darryl Strawberry. Now we all know the story. If you're somebody who's 35 or older, you know the story of Darryl Strawberry. You know what I'm saying? Darryl Strawberry was one of the elite players in the league in the 80s and early 90s. You know what I'm saying? But then his career kind of went south, you know, due to excessive partying and excessive, you know, drug use, and he couldn't shake the drug abuse, man, and the partying at the time. You know, Darryl Strawberry, he played for the Mets, and then I believe he played for the Yankees too as well in the mid 90s. Great player, you know what I'm saying? Great player. One of my favorite players. Reason why I like Darryl Strawberry is because of his last name, man. He had a unique, very different, unique last name. I can't say that word, but he was one of my favorite players back then, man. You know, I always been a big Mets fan, you know. Never really was a Yankees fan. Like I said, Yankees, to me personally, Yankees were the type of team that bought their way into World Series championships. You know what I'm saying? By stacking great players on their team, they pretty much bought their way to most of their championships. So I was never really a Yankees fan. I don't mind wearing the fitteds and all that, but you know, it's just something different about wearing a Mets fitted. Which, you know what I hate about the two is that it's so hard to find dope Mets hats. You can find a million New York Yankee hats, but when it comes to the New York Mets, it's a very, very challenging thing to find dope Mets gear. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can find the jackets and the hats, some hats, but you can find a gazillion New York Yankees hats, shirts, hoodies. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the Mets, it's hard to find that stuff. You know, but Darryl Strawberry had a heart attack, guys. Let's see what happened with Darryl Strawberry. Former New York Mets and Yankees star Darryl Strawberry. Okay, he did play for the Yankees. Okay, yeah. Is recovering from a heart attack and is at SSM Health St. Joseph Hospital. Mets spokesman Jay Horitz said Tuesday Strawberry was stricken Monday and a day before the 8-time All-Star 62nd birthday. Darryl Strawberry, okay, that's something else. Okay, he posted a photo of himself at the hospital on Instagram. I am so happy and honored to report that all is well. So thankful for the medical team and staff at St. Joseph West and Lake St. Louis for responding so quickly and bringing me through the stent procedure that has brought my heart to total restoration, Strawberry added. Strawberry, who lives in O'Fillano, Missouri, is resting comfortably, Horitz said. The Mets will retire Strawberry's number 18 on June 1st after retiring Dwight Gooden. Dwight Gooden was another player I liked too as well. Number 16 on April 14th. The pair led the team to the 1986 World Series title. Okay, so I thought it was 2. So I guess it's just 1. We are looking forward to Straw's speedy recovery and welcoming him for his number retirement ceremony on June 1st. Mets owner Steve Cohen and wife Alex said in a statement. Strawberry was a 7-time All-Star during his time with the Mets from 1983 to 1990, winning the NL Rookie of the Year in 1983. He hit .59 with 335 homers, 1,000 RBIs, and 221 stolen bases in 17 seasons. That also includes time with the Los Angeles Dodgers, 91 to 93, and the San Francisco Giants, 1994, and the New York Yankees, 95 to 99. He was also part of the 3 World Series championship teams with the Yankees. Strawberry's career was derailed by drugs and alcohol issues and also by colon cancer, treatment that caused him to miss the 1998 World Series. So Darryl Strawberry had a heart attack, guys. I hope he's doing well. Hope he gets better. I didn't know he had colon cancer, though. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, man, I was always a fan of Darryl Strawberry, Dwight Gooden, those guys. You know what I'm saying? I hope Dwight Gooden is doing well as well. Hope he gets a speedy recovery, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't wish nothing bad health-wise on anybody, man, especially when you're dealing with the heart. That's something that, we got to take better care of, you know what I'm saying? But his past drug use and abuse of his body probably is the reason why he had the heart attack in the first place. Like, I don't know what his life situation is right now, what he's going through. He seemed pretty healthy on Vlad when I watched the interview on Vlad. You know what I'm saying? He seemed pretty healthy. But, you can't really go by what someone looks on the outside. It definitely counts for what somebody is going through on the inside. And that's the trick with a lot of bodybuilders, too, as well. You see a lot of bodybuilders who die from drug use, you know what I'm saying, steroids and stuff like that. People think these people are so healthy. They look great and amazing. And truthfully, on the inside, they're not healthy at all. You know what I'm saying? What bodybuilders got to go through to make weight or to cut is inhumane. You know what I'm saying? It's inhumane what they go through. You know what I'm saying? And having all that muscle mass, depending on what type of bodybuilder you are, having all that extra muscle mass on you, which your body frame cannot hold, which your heart is not used to supporting. That means extra blood has got to go to the body, extra blood and extra oxygen to the body. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of wear and tear on your heart and wear and tear on your body, period, your joints and everything. What's that guy's name who was like one of the top tier bodybuilders at one point in time? He was what's his name? Oh man, I forgot his name. He was huge. I can't remember his name, but he ended up losing limbs. He can barely walk. Like, what you guys got to take care of your bodies, man. You got to take care of your bodies. Even including myself, I got to get myself back on track. You know what I'm saying? You got to take care of yourself, especially when you get older. You get up in your late 40s, 50s. You got to start to think and realize, like, all right, it's time for me to get my act together. Time for me to start putting things in my body that's healthy. You know what I'm saying? Get my rest. Drink plenty of water. You know what I mean? And do things to help my body rejuvenate itself. You know what I'm saying? But Darryl Strawberry, I hope he's doing better, man. You know what I'm saying? Hope you get a speedy recovery. You know what I mean? But yo, guys, that's my take in this podcast episode. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you so much. Please subscribe to the channel. Please share this content with family and friends. You know what I'm saying? Everybody man. They help my podcast grow. You know what I'm saying? But yo, that's my take. I am your gracious host, Jupiter 9, and I just want to say peace and love. Take care. 1.